Maintain 2074.
Who am I?
I'm at 504, descend to maintain 3000. 3000, coming 504. Answer type 74 is on traffic about
In my 20s, I dream of flying a plane. Due to having glasses, I thought it's not possible. In mid-2016, I started to have foggy vision. After I checked out, the doctor said I have cataract in both my eyes. Wow! I really never expected this. I felt like taking a trip to the moon, jumping up and down. I'm filled with excitement. But the unexpected turns out into my reality. The cold, hard truth. I need to step into divorce. My mom said her final goodbye, and my family broke apart. I stepped into a solitude journey. This is the best journey I ever experienced. It was super challenging. My achievement, the award-winning author, from housewife to pilot, the beginning. I'm Keiko Lim. I'm here holding your hands, guiding you every steps to discover your potential, harness that energy, bring it to your reality, and make your dreams come true.
I'm at 504, ready speed of 170 per tower space. You get following Boeing 727, 1 o'clock, 6 miles right base, descending on 3500.
Welcome to Tuesday with Keiko. Today my guest is Andy. Andy is a dynamic speaker, podcaster, entrepreneur, mindset coach, shaman, NLP specialist, and Reiki Master. With over 10,000 hours of meditation experience, he is an expert in the mind and subconscious, seamlessly blending Western psychology principles with Eastern wisdom. His diverse background in psychology, NLP, hypnosis, and various healing practices enables him to guide others towards greater success in life, health, and spiritual growth. A very warm welcome to Tuesday with Keiko.
Sup, I love the video, especially the dragon. It was awesome. I have a thing for dragons, actually.
Yeah.
I would like a t-shirt with a dragon. That's a fantasy of mine.
Yes, that's amazing. And so, Andy, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you?
Well, as you can see, I hope you can see, I'm a human. I have 2 hands, I have 2 arms. And for the most part of my life, I thought there was something wrong with me because I have been born as an empath, or people throw many strange terms at me these days. But let's move past that. I have been experiencing reality through completely different lenses. And it was so unusual to my environment that I could only come up to the possible explanation that was that I am crazy. So guess what? I started this search for Holy Grail to make me whole again. Guess what? God or nature doesn't make mistakes. Everything between heaven and earth is perfect. So this search was futile from the start. The only value in the world is knowing yourself. And if you know yourself, you know who you are and where you're going and where you're from. And saying that you're not enough or that you're lacking is being against the potential of the creator, which has the ultimate ability to create reality, to create anything that he wishes to create. So in a way, I have consciously choose my life. Yet I was always fighting it with my thoughts, emotions, always standing in the way. So I wasn't really living. I was thinking about living. Yet somehow I was kind of successful. I had some businesses. I had a successful corporate career. I have some real estate that I rent right now, and I have successful practice right now. But I believe that all of these things, I meditated this and that, I know all the West modalities, all the East modalities, just stand in the way. I don't really operate from that. I actually allow the God to work through me and make things happen, and He never disappoints me. Like, I have yet to find thing that I cannot do, which is great. So if you're a person that is struggling with limiting beliefs, some negative emotions, you have some bad addictions, bad habits, some ancestral trauma, or even some things you call demons, angels, yada, 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 anything, I can literally change it on the spot. And I do, which is fun. Or maybe I don't do it, maybe it's the God that speaks to me. Anyway, try me, it's fun.
That's interesting. As the understanding of spirituality is a question mark in a lot of people's mind. And how does things work in spirituality?
The word itself means only as much as you have assigned to it. And you can observe the reality that you live in using your mind, and you will only have what your mind tells you you have, or you can turn off the mind, turn on the emotions, and see reality for what it truly is. And then you can see that the spirituality itself is nothing more than a concept, a riverbed of energy. And the more people connect to it, the more polluted it is, because this is the essence of life. And in truth, these days it is so polluted that it become nothing more than a coping mechanism. People tend to go meditate or sit in the grass in the forest instead of facing their challenges. And that is the only way to grow. Like, come on, like, if you have an issue with your spouse and instead of solving that issue with your spouse, you choose to meditate and somehow think that's going to be magically resolved, like, you're crazy. That's not going to happen. That's going to give you an ego boost because you're spiritual, and then most likely people make it part of their whole existence and see life through spiritual lenses, but it won't solve the issues in their life. It will give them ego boost. So kind of funny that you cannot really grow the spirit. You can only slow down its progress. And if you interfere with life, you're not gonna be spiritual. Like, everything is spirit, everything is soul, but well, everything is energy.
Interfere in what way?
Well, if all what we experience is the result of thoughts and emotions with delay, and that is the result of what we have within, because what we have within will so manifest outside. Many people say it's one of the rule of the universe, one of the universal law. I don't believe so. I think it's only conceptualization of it. And if this is like the reason, give you some examples. Like, if a person has been struggling with bad relationship, and then she will think that all men are pigs, how is it possible for that person to have a good marriage? It's not possible, because she perceives reality with that belief that all men are pigs. And well, that this is exactly what she will experience. And once she will experience that, she will be like, God damn, I was right. So in a way, you could say that all beliefs are glorified restrictions, because all it does is boost our ego, but in the long term, it's limiting. So you could say one belief serves us, and it allows us to be in the place we want to be, or it actually holds us back. But in the long enough timeline, all beliefs will become glorified restrictions, because we will outgrow them.
And one question I've always wondered, is there a purpose for us to be living in this 3D reality? I mean, do we come here with a purpose that is kind of like our blueprint that we need to do that purpose or work on that purpose?
I believe many people use it also as a coping mechanism. If you choose it that you need to have a purpose, go away, have a purpose. You can choose anything and experience anything. That's the rule of life. The only point of life actually is experience. And whatever you experience is perfectly fine. There are no good or evil. God won't sit on this cloud and say, wow, you're choosing the wrong experiences. Now I have to punish you. No, that's not real. It's not the way it actually works. God is not the judge of the character. It means that the universal law works the same for everyone, regardless if you're a good person, bad person, child, old man. In fact, the concept of good and evil is nothing more than concept created by morality of the humankind. In nature, something called good or evil doesn't exist. It's created by humans, so they can rationalize their actions.
And how do you explain? Because in the 3D world, it's basically duality. There's up and there's down. So how does one know that what is right or what is wrong? And if that person perceives, like, they have the lenses in their eyes and they perceive, let's say, bad is a good thing.
Good for who?
And exactly. I mean, it's like, it's not to them, but then because whatever thing we do is actually, it gives a satisfaction or gives a result when you come together in a community. Take for example Tony Robbins. He helps a lot of people to have a certain, craft a certain mindset that to help humanity, and you will achieve a greater result.
Can you repeat that question? I think my connectivity died. I had to do CPR on it. Yeah.
Okay.
I went mouth to mouth with my Wi-Fi.
Okay, I'll repeat that question. Okay, take for example someone like Tony Robbins, and there are so many people attracted to his cause because they think that he is someone that will change their life. And in this scenario, do you think those people that attended Tony Robbins course, once they completed Tony Robbins course, they are able to stand alone to create courses to help other people to live a better life?
It depends from person to person and their own individual beliefs and the energy stored within their bodies called emotions, which is nothing else than magnetic charge. If you believe you can do it, you're right, and you will experience it. If you believe you can do it, guess what? You're also right, and you will experience it. So it depends. Like literally, we are creators of our own universe. We are the gods in the flesh. We are limitless. The only limits that are placed on us is the limits that we place on ourselves.
And how do people stop all these limiting beliefs?
First of all, you need to identify what is blocking you from the life that you want to live. Because again, all beliefs are limiting in their nature, because it limits you to only one particular way you experience reality, which obviously is not true. There are countless ways reality can be experienced. As many as people are there in the world. In fact, even twice as that. Well, you can always work with me, but if this is something that you don't want to do, you need to be aware if you are more logical, emotional, or energy. If you are more logical, using ways that have been made popular by people like Anthony Robbins, which is neurolingual programming or hypnosis, most likely will resonate with you. And you can do it, but be aware that each time you have a thought, it creates electrical charge going through your brain, and it is followed by magnetic field release, which is called your emotion. So if you only change that belief that is the result of your thoughts without changing the emotion, it will create a clash of those two conflicts. To illustrate that, you can take a glass of boiling water and put it in a fridge. Guess what will happen? Something will break. And what usually breaks is the body. But if that's you, go ahead. I don't judge, and I don't have any intention to judge people. People should choose the tools that work for them. If you're more emotional, you can work with emotions. Yet there are some golden guidelines that have always been working. If you let go of the emotion that has been creating this pattern of thoughts, like, for example, fear-based or not being enough or anxiety, if you let go of that energy, and there are countless ways to do it, there aren't any better or worse. It's what works for you. You can do work with the chakras. I don't actually recommend that, but you can do it. You can work with energies or the energy of the organs, which I actually do recommend. It's a very good way to clear the emotions that are stuck in the body, which sooner or later will manifest as illness. So it's about finding what works for you, and if you believe it works, it will work. So the biggest technique and method in the world that works the best is you. And if I'm gonna emphasize this focus on something external, I will actually take away power from you, which I don't intend to do, because it's not about that. I don't want to enslave no one to my mind and will, which is crazy. If you understand what is limiting you and you see where it is limiting you and you know your why, the cost of how becomes very low. And it can, like, one of the greatest methods that I found, I don't know if I found it myself or probably not, because there's nothing new under the sun that is being invented.
Yeah.
But it's just asking questions. And it's usually the hard question, because you don't know what you don't know. So I have been taught from very early ages, I have been taught awareness by my master, who just asked me questions about observing how my body reacts, this and that, and this and that. So it's a good start to see how your body reacts to different things. Most people are not really aware to that stage, and it's great problems. But if you are able to identify that you are lacking, have this emotion of low self-esteem, it's going to manifest not only in your business, in your relationships, it will manifest everywhere. And if you are able to see it everywhere, you can also release it everywhere. Then if there is a trauma event, if you know which traumatic event is it, you can show that you are bigger than the event and just laugh at it, and it will completely dissolve. If you know where the stuck emotion is in the body, because most of the emotions are going to be stuck somewhere in the body, and again, it's going to correlate to one of the internal organs. Like, for example, in the solar plexus, if there's an emotion stuck, you might be a bit too attached what people think about you. And that's going to hinder your process greatly, because you're going to say something, what did I say was enough, or this and that. Yeah, I actually had this emotion some time ago in myself. It was crazy. Like, I released it, and all those layers of the mind created by this emotion arise to my consciousness. Like, God damn, was it really me? This is baffling. This is embarrassing that I used to be this way for so long. But, better later than never.
So does all these emotions or these thoughts that comes up into my mind, into our mind, does it related to something that happens in the past or in the past generation?
Can be. Many things we inherited from our ancestors, and all that information is stored in DNA. So wherever you go, you take the knowledge of your ancestors with you, their beliefs, their traumas, and those thought forms called arrogance or false gods or demons or even angels. When many people think about something, it will give life to this concept and it will exist in the field and it can be passed to further generations. This is like not inherited trauma or inherited emotion. This is very easy to clear, but something that humans will to existence, it's definitely tougher because you need to first clear that concept, and it's usually several different emotions, like 10 or 20, and it's very big emotional charge. Back in the day, they call those people exorcists, yet never really found an exorcist that can truly do this. Because in that concept itself, you can either fight that demon and send him back to hell, quote unquote, or reverse that program called demon to its original setting. And then you will still have it, but it is like a program that it was created with the right intention by its creator. And the problem is with the creator being human, they create very crazy stuff and then they glorified it as some truth and only truth, universal truth. I never met an angel, demon, or God that hasn't been created by humans. All of that have been created by humans. Literally all of that. There is one universal God, but he's not some guy that sits on a cloud judging you, all of that. He's not a judge of character. It's just this universal power that works through all of us, with us, and through us. It's about allowing that force to work through us. In the fact that universal power chose us to experience itself, and we are nothing more than its vessels. So that means if you want to change using your ego, using the human mind, you will have a hard time, because with God, everything is possible. With humans, not so much.
We are limited, though.
True, but we are the ones that are limiting ourselves. Like, I believe, like, things are things because people believe there are things. They said that Jesus turned water into wine, and I believe that he used the energy that has been granted to him by his discipline to stop believing that this water is water, and he started to believe this water is wine, and it had to manifest. But he was so sure that it is wine that it had to become wine. Now, I also don't believe that to grow whatever way you want, you need to focus on those skills. Actually not. I would like to say that you should be beware of those people, because, well, best case scenario, they're going to scam you of your money. Worst case scenario, there's some delusional people that are possessed by the spirits. And again, spirits have been created by the humans. So it's literally ultimate example of being used by the tool. And that happens a lot, that spirits can even eat your soul. And this is just mind-boggling.
Yeah, it's like the scammers. Nowadays, there are a lot of various different types of scammers that they are trying to scam a lot of people. Especially, I guess I would say a woman is a target, and
honestly, like, you better be scammed and you better be led astray by some lunatic. Literally, better be scammed than some lunatic that will lead you astray and you will be lost completely. But then you won't know that you're lost, and you will glorify that you're lost, and no, you don't understand, I'm spiritual and all of that, but you're not. And this is the case with many people that start their advanced meditations, yet they don't have foundations. If you start to build the house that you live in, starting from the roof, without foundations, the roof will fall on your head when you least expect it. And that's what happens, basically. We glorify crazy people, especially in the spiritual realm. That is why I don't find myself as spiritual, because I don't want to connect myself to this riverbed of energy.
And how would you advise someone that in the beginning journey of meditation, how will you advise this person to walk the right path?
Dude, relax, don't overcomplicate it. Some general guidelines is, first of all, meditation is a tool. Do not use it when you're depressed or anxious, because this will amplify those states. You will be more depressed or anxious. back in the day in the East, before people started meditate, they work with the body, and after that they work with the breath, and they only then they move to meditate. If that's not something you want to do, and again, I understand, I'm not gonna judge you. You want to make it as simple as possible and just clear your mind of the thoughts. Ideally, you want to have no thoughts, but you know that's
But
that
that is not possible.
you're not gonna get there with the Western approach, meditate from day one. No, that's not
Mm.
possible. Then hence beware of those people, power of the now. That's also very dangerous. There are people that have this state of mind when from day one when they have been born, but this is to good karma. They have accumulated to good experiences in this plane, that this is natural for them. It's like breathing. They take it for granted. They don't think. They think only when they need to think. There's not many of us, but it is what it is. So if you really want to reach that state where you have no thought, no emotion, you need to do it step by step, and you will have a beautiful castle to live in. But if you start from the roof, well, you're screwed. You're cooked. It's very like for example, people do those quantum meditation, and it's like this is literally the hardest meditation you can do in a sense. And you wouldn't go to a gym and start with the hardest exercise on your day one, would you? You would get injured. Yeah. And as a consequence, you know, because you don't have all the channels open when you're born, or maybe if you're lucky, but that's very unlikely.
How do we know we have all the channels open?
Most easily you don't. Like there's literally maybe less than 1%, even less than that, 1% that might be lucky and have those channels open, and still they can mess up. Like they can, like I know I messed up, and like the thing is, if you don't have the channels open, and if you force your body to channel that energy, it would create such a heat that will not only be stored in the fascia around the organs, it will reduce the lifespan. That energy will go to the head, creating hallucinations. And you would think you're advanced, but in reality, you're not even amateur. You're less than that. And this is very tough to get fixed, especially when that energy is starting to create friction between the environment around you. Then you're cooked. Literally, you're cooked. There's like, no master will going to speak with you. He's going to conserve and protect this energy. So it's like, you speak with this and that. That's cool, man. That's cool. That's okay. That's okay. You do you. But they won't attune themselves to the level because this is pure craziness. So you're pretty much cooked at this stage. There's no coming back. Like I can say, stop doing those meditation. Get yourself like a specialist on traditional Chinese medicine. Drink herbs for like 1 year. Do basic exercise like from Kung Fu, ideally from Kung Fu if you're in the West, because you don't really want to go with yoga. And that is mostly because in the West, we sit so much on the chair, many hours, that it's basically another asana. So you want to move that energy within you, and we want to let go of it. And that external, that heat that you just collected, you need to let it go. And funny thing is, once you let go of those negative emotions and all of this chatter in the noise, you see that this is actually a natural state of human being to have no thoughts. But to get to the top of the mountain, you actually need to choose the longest road possible, because then it will become the shortest road possible. But if you're going to choose shortcuts, the only thing you can find is being lost. And once you're lost, good luck getting found.
Yeah, that's so true. I mean, it's like, yes, I mean, it's like a lot of people, they want to go through shortcuts, and in the end, they got lost. Yeah.
Yeah, but like it's self-spirituality. You either use it for your benefit or it uses you. Like I'm going to give example. Like I like to say that I used to like to say that Tai Chi is the best. Guess what? As soon as I said it, Tai Chi stopped being the best for me, because I got attached and all of those things. It became a layer of the mind through which I perceived reality, and it was limitation. So let's not glorify that which restricts us. Because let's look outside. The season always changes. Yes. Like when you wake up, it's dawn and the sun rises, and it fights the moon to conquer the sky, but when it is the strongest, it willingly gives in to the moon, and when moon is the strongest, it willingly gives to the earth. It's about balance. You won't always wear the same clothes. Like if it's summer, you probably would look similar to me, short clothes, but in the summer you should wear different clothes. And this is the same with training and meditation. Like right now it's fall, so you should do different exercises that you should do in the summer. And in fact, if you really want to go that rabbit hole, you should change your exercises each week. But like, yeah, that was like super advanced understanding, and that don't really recommend it to no one. Let's keep it simple. Like if you want to meditate, just focus on clearing the mind. If you want to do it the right way, focus. Like there's this basic concept called rooting from traditional Chinese martial arts, which is similar to grounding, and it has similar effect, but it can be done everywhere. And it's something that I would recommend because it will release this stuck up energy in the body. And the concept is very simple. You just squeeze the soul beneath your feet, and this will activate all the nerves in your body, stimulating your well-beings and massaging your internal organs. And since internal organs are related closely to your emotions, it will release the surplus of emotions. And given time, it will be a second nature. And once it becomes your second nature, you will become healthier and healthier and healthier. But if you try to make this crazy jump, yeah, you're gonna get lost. Like it's not gonna work. Like you cannot really go from one extreme to another and don't think it's not gonna kill your body. It's actually like if you see how like we go from one extreme to another, like when people have a very high fever, they feel cold and they have shivers. And everybody knows that's not healthy.
Yeah.
When you go high in the mountains and it's very cold as well, sooner or later you will feel hot because your body is about to give up. Your body is at its limit. Everybody knows that's not healthy, but somehow quantum people think it's healthy. And they lack energy to manifest it. And industry itself like gives you this strange ideas that you should do this and that, otherwise you're not spiritual. How come the more restrictions you have on yourself, the more rigid you are, the more healthy you are? The only rigid thing in this world is the dead body. If you're rigid with your beliefs, the energy won't flow through you.
As long as we have thoughts, the energy won't flow.
Well, yeah, no, it depends. Like there's so many things that you need to take into consideration, like the purity of the energy, the source of the energy. Like I know myself, I'm super limited. I'm a crazy individual, but the thing is, at least I'm aware of it, and I have no bad habits. I have some crazy emotions stuck in my body. I think I cleared all of it. And here is the thing, like you can only be yourself. So I'll become the stuff that you think you are, so you can become who you were destined to be. And this is actually the growth of the spirit, not some stupid restrictions that you need to meditate twice a day. You need to do this and that. That's not going to help you. In fact, there was this famous recipe for Buddha from Vipassana circles called, you meditate 1 hour in the morning, Vipassana style, and 1 hour in the evening, and you will become enlightened. Guess what? Nobody did. And again, you cannot force a flower to bloom. If you force a flower to bloom, it will stop being a flower. And this is the way Gautama Siddhartha, the one that they call Buddha, got enlightened. But I'm not him, you're not him, so why do you want to act like him? It is his way to find enlightenment. And there are as many ways to get enlightened as there are people. So enlightenment doesn't really choose how you reach it. It's literally funny. It literally doesn't care. You need to I think in a way, those big lessons in life, like for example, somebody is struggling with grief. If you release that grief, you realize that you're grieving and you release that might lead to enlightenment. Like I have been passed by my father this huge internal heat in the liver, and so I started eating bitter foods to balance it out.
Mm.
And that is one of the ways I got enlightened this golden aura for some time, but nothing lasts forever. So again, just a regular dude, 2 hands, 2 legs, fancy glasses, fancy shirt, and nice chain. Yeah. So stop stop doing what the mainstream spirituality tells you to do, because it's not gonna work. It's only gonna work if you believe it's gonna work. But yeah, do you believe it's gonna
But
work?
do
I don't
we
think so.
have a knowing within us?
Fuck yeah, always.
There
But
is a knowing within us.
we clouded so much with the external, with like the latest techniques, meditation and all of that, that how can you have this voice within when you constantly turn it off and focus on something that is not within you? All of the answers are within us. And that's what you need to focus. You need to focus on yourself, who you are, what makes you you, why you do the things you do. Those are the questions that you should be asking yourself. And many times people have this huge light bulb moment, like, oh my God, I didn't know that this was me. But once you release that from me, like I had this thought, it resurfaced to my consciousness, like, God damn, it's baffling, literally baffling. So literally it's about letting go. Like, come on, if you would go on a Sunday hike and instead of enjoying the hike and reaching the top, you would start collecting the rocks and putting them in your backpack, calling them like Reiki. And I'm a Reiki Grand Master, so I know what I'm saying. I know why they started all those funky modalities, because I was not enough. I was lacking. And if I was lacking, my actions were lacking and my outcome were lacking, that there was no way I could be whole. So I started to try to be whole by exploring different things. But this was actually why my progress took so long, why it took me so long to bloom, because I was so focused with the external, what people were saying, that I need this and that, otherwise yada 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 yada. But you can only be yourself. So why not know yourself?
And how manifestation works?
Manifestation is just the result of your thoughts and emotions with some delay. So you're always manifesting. Like, this is the truth. But to manifestation really work, you need to take it for granted, like breathing. Because if you put it on pedestal, it would be so far from your subconsciousness that it would like, that's not even possible. But if you take it for granted, like breathing, you're not even focusing on breathing. It just happens. But if you, for example, want to manifest like a great marriage, but if you think all men are pigs, how is that possible to happen? Come on. So you need to clear what is blocking you from your manifestation, align yourself with your thoughts and what you do and what you think you are, and just do it. And then it will happen. Like, there's countless manifestation methods, something even called law of attraction, which is not really law of attraction, which is a conceptualization made by humans from the first Hermetic law, what is within, so outside. And this is another just pollution. There are countless methods, right? You can choose which one works for you and which one you believe in. But if you don't believe in the method, it won't work. And once you see it, you're practically living in that state. And you're in that state as long as you're not ended with something that interferes with the process.
That's interesting. And there's one more question to you. Is there color in this universe?
Color. So it depends. Like, if you want to think about it, it's all about how light and lands a particular atom through which we perceive colors. But, it's all the same in the end. Like, there is no difference from light to dark. The only difference is how you react. If you're gonna be looking straight into the sun, you won't be able to see. You would need to close your eyes. But if you're in the room that is full of darkness, you also won't be able to see. So perception, if you are able to let go of your senses and go beyond of the senses, you will realize that what we perceive as reality is nothing more than mere percentage of what is truly reality, because we are not accustomed to such a high degree of awareness. In truth,
True.
our level of awareness have so many secrets hidden from us that it's mind-boggling.
Yes.
Instead
That is
of
so true.
focusing like what the government hides from you or the society hides from you, focus on what your level of consciousness hides from you,
That is so true
because
because
the answer is there.
when I had the cataract operation, and they have to remove the lens, and because the lens is crowded, and when they remove my lens, no, I only see shades, lights and darkness. I don't see any color. I don't see any object. And it's after the operation which I think our eyes is so powerful.
Humans are powerful.
Yeah, it's like all those things that in our body, it is really powerful because like what you said, we digest when we eat food, we digest, and the stomach knows what to do. The intestines knows what to do without us giving instruction to the stomach. Oh, you have to
Yeah,
digest this
we would
food.
only mess up. We would
Yeah,
only mess up.
it's amazing. Our body is really an amazing engineering.
Kind of like just don't interfere. Like the body knows what to do. Don't step in. Don't interfere. Your interference can only breed problems. And obviously then you will glorify the problems because you tend to
Mm.
believe that reality is a certain way, and that's only a belief. And once you believe something to be true, once it happens to be true, there will be an ego boost. But exactly the same thing will happen if you believe something not to be true. It happens not to be true, an ego boost will follow as well. So we glorify our own restrictions.
So how will you advise people to move forward? Like, for example, the scenario of I spoke to these two co-founders that they have the idea of getting a group of people to do some drawings on the drawing board, because I think this activities is amazing. So I'd like to bring this idea to Asia, and I have no idea why is it that they just never respond to my email. Like for example, in this kind of scenario, so is if I never receive any response from them, I will just move on to the next option. Am I right to say? That is how I
Uh,
release all the limiting thoughts.
Isn't that limiting beliefs? Isn't that a belief? Like the grass is greener where you water it. If you want to
Mhm.
move the drawing event to Asia, just do it. That's it. Observe if your beliefs, thoughts are serving the purpose to move it to Asia or not. If it's not serving, release those patterns, release those beliefs, release those thoughts, and implement beliefs, thoughts that will actually help you have that happen. Otherwise, it's just a glorified limitation.
I see. And the final questions. What is the takeaway for our viewers?
Again,
What is the takeaway for our viewers?
take away, chill,
Yes.
relax. There is a story about this great dancer,
Uh-huh.
and she danced beautifully. Yeah, there was a show that she started to overthink, second guess her choices.
Mm.
She was no longer dancing. She was thinking about dancing. And you cannot dance and think about dancing at the same time. It's like going left and right at the same time. So guess what? She fought, and nobody was impressed no more. So you either live or you think about living. You cannot do both. The flower does not think when to bloom. When it's ready, it just blooms. Learn from the flower, learn from the nature, and your time will come. Relax, homie. All you can do is slow down the progress with your ego, with your thoughts, with your emotions. And perhaps if you see that your thoughts or emotions are a hindrance and no longer serve you, you can come work with me. I have huge base of testimonials and understanding how it works, and I can provide you like real results very fast without any woo-woo corny stuff and whatever other people tell you to do, vision boards, law of attraction, affirmation. No, it's literally done for you on the spot, and you're a completely different being with a completely different results. What was holding you back is now propelling you into the future.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your insights with us today. And before we wrap up, is there anything else you'd like to add or any message you want to leave our audience with?
Relax. All life is placebo. You can die in the end. So take it easy. Enjoy the ride. If you take life as a sailing on a boat through a river, and if you constantly go from one extreme to another, as in hitting the rocks from one side to another, how can you enjoy the ride? Be balanced, be in middle, and then great things will happen. You will enjoy the ride, and you won't need to focus on what to do next, because you will always be inspired. Because if you treat your body right, your body treats you right. Very simple.
That's a great message. We appreciate your time and expertise. Where can our audience find you?
I have a page, which is sageandy.com. You can also find me on social media, Facebook /BabyLamaX, Instagram /BabyLamaX, and I believe all of the other social media accounts as well. My handle is BabyLamaX. So just contact me. You can read my free stuff, my videos, and that's it.
Fantastic. We'll be sure to include those links in the YouTube description box. And thank you once again for being with us today. It's been a pleasure. And to our audience, thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed this interview, please subscribe and leave us a review or share with others who might find it interesting. Until next time, goodbye.
May you be blessed, homeboy. Stay in grace, stay blessed. See you soon.